Okay. Let us now slide over to one championship who this past weekend had one Fight Night 7, Lineker versus Andrade 2, the rematch between John Lineker and Fabricio Andrade. And Fabricio Andrade defeated John Lineker by TKO via corner stoppage following round 4. Omar, let me send it over to you this time. What was your reaction of the fight overall, of Andrade's performance, and ultimately the merciful corner stoppage?
Man, they picked it. Omar believed. We didn't believe.
Successful pick, baby. Listen, man, that fight was great. That fight was competitive, but I think the jab and the length played to Andrade's played to his benefit. The size difference I thought was fucking crazy. I don't know. Was I the only one? I think I said it. I think I texted you guys on the night. But, like, Andrade looked significantly taller and bigger than
Oh, I said it the first time. They're listed as having a 3-inch height difference, and there's no fucking way. It's like 7 inches. It's gigantic.
Yeah, that dude he's significantly taller than Lineker.
Yeah.
Lineker couldn't even reach him half the time.
No.
And I think that was really the story of the fight, to be honest, was Lineker's inability to really get inside and really reach him. Andrade really spammed on the jabs and eventually kind of got to the point where Lineker's eye started to blow up little by little, and it was legitimately closed by the time it was all said and done. I understand the decision. I don't think it was a bad one. His eye was, I think, going inside out at one point. It was swelling so bad. But it was a competitive fight, man. You know what I mean? Lineker, even in the worst of situations, is still throwing bombs, and you lose your shit for a second. Andrade could have been face down on that canvas, man. So it was a competitive fight. Andrade was on his tippy toes and moving around and staying light, putting shots heavy when he needed to, and moving out of the way, never really giving Lineker a chance to return the way I think Lineker usually likes to return. And the bulldog approach just didn't work for him. And he paid for it this weekend.
Yeah, man. Mark, bringing you in, give us your reaction of the corner stoppage and of the fight overall between Andrade and Lineker.
So it's funny because I kind of feel like I nailed this one for like about 3+ rounds. Like the way that it went is exactly how I had pictured it in my brain. Like that's exactly how I thought that fight was going to look. John Lineker came in with what I thought was a significantly better game plan. I thought he looked far more prepared to deal with the weapons of Andrade. Obviously, the one that there was not a lot he could do about was the jab, simply because of the length. But I thought he was dealing with the knees way better, the kicks way better. He was ready to mix in his wrestling early because he understood that he had that advantage. And he was very specifically ready to go to the body. Like that kept Andrade guessing. That let Lineker land some bigger shots to overcome the reach disadvantage that he was stuck at. It let him rack up points when Andrade would step in. Andrade in the first fight did a lot of step-in knees and things like that. This fight, as he came in, he kept getting ripped to the body by Lineker. So I thought Lineker made a lot of great adjustments. Of course, Andrade looked good too. The size is just such a huge factor. That jab was the key to the entire fight. Just because, as I said, there's not a lot Lineker could do about it. Obviously, by the end of it, he had torn Lineker's face up. I actually read that his corner said both of his eyes were closed, and that's why they threw it in. So I couldn't tell that on the broadcast, but that's what...
Me either.
Wow. I'm forgetting who was in his corner now, but that is what he said. But honestly, my takeaway from this, and I said it to you guys already, is that I would like to see Fabricio Andrade heavily drug tested. Like, John Lineker's name is Hands of Stone. The man puts everyone down. Everyone. And he landed so many body shots with so much power, and Andrade was never affected even a little bit. Like, he ate 30 hammers to his stomach and was just like, got me again. Let me reset. Like, it doesn't make sense to my brain. I don't understand how he did not get hurt, and that's why I picked Lineker, because I thought he could land more, and I thought a TKO would come because he's fucking John Lineker. So maybe I'm wrong. Maybe Andrade is just one of the toughest dudes in the world, and I should be giving him credit. I don't know, but sometimes the way guys absorb things feels abnormal to me, and I got to say this was one of these fights where I didn't understand how nothing was hurting him. But either way, he survived it. He kept pouring it on, and he made Lineker throw in the towel. So maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to assume that I'm right and crap on the guy. And obviously he's the new bantamweight king of one, but we'll never know, I guess.
Anything you guys want to say about what could be next for Andrade and Lineker?
So I know for Andrade, Mike's face froze in such a funny place. For Andrade, they said that it's going to be Stephen Lohman, who is 3-0 in one thus far. He just beat Bibiano Fernandez. I guess he is going to be the next guy in line here, so I think that's where we're going there. For Lineker, I think, honestly, he could take some time. He's a couple fights now where he definitely took some damage and then just return against whoever's in that mix right there.